wanted to recruit high-caliber players, and it's come to. I think Ben and Chris have done a great job elevating our program to a national level, and it's going to be our challenge as a staff to try to replace them next year.
What are your thoughts on Ben's decision the other day of making that decision to stay in the NBA draft?
Well, we definitely support it. I think the body of work that he's put in has warned him to be looked at as one of the elite players in college basketball, and now moving him on. And now we got to make sure, and hopefully he secures a first-round pick.
What kind of feedback have you received, on Chris from NBA people you've talked to?
The thing on both of them that all the personnel in the NBA have been really impressed with is how well they've interviewed, how they've carried themselves, the way of which they talk about their teammates and their experience here at Providence College. It's really stood out to a lot of executives.
Did you have a similar situation like last year with Chris where you sat down with him and his family and kind of went over the different options and went back and forth?
Well, a little bit different because Chris wanted to come back to school. Chris wanted to graduate from college. Ben was looking at a different opportunity. Ben was trying to get to the NBA as quick as he could.
That year that Chris ended up staying, how much to help him to be better prepared where he is now?
Well, it prepared him emotionally, physically, academically, economically. Chris making that decision probably put a lot more zeros next to his name, I can tell you that. All of us may have to take a loan from him.
Just talk about the development aspect of you and your staff. LaDontae Hinton became a 2,000-point scorer, Ben Bentil, an NBA prospect, Chris Dunn. Just talk about you and your staff and developing guys, and that's kind of where maybe the challenge is for you guys trying to mold the next great Friar.
Well, we've had that challenge every year. When we lost Vince Council, we had, our first year, everybody says you're going to be in a rebuilding year. Then we come back and it's Cotton, and then it's Kadeem Batts, and then LaDontae. And I think, you coach your guys, you give them the most amount of confidence and put them in position to have success. And hopefully we can continue to do that. I'm excited about my team for next year. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Friar fans that, are ready to jump off a building right now because, we lose two great players. But that's the part of being in college athletics, the journey, the patience and the preparation to get the next guys through.
How much is this time of year important in terms of there's no games, but just, imposing upon them about being good and working hard, installing that mantra right now?
Well, right now is an opportunity for our guys to work on individual skills, work on their teammates, who are their teammates. We're going to have, 5 new players, I think? We're going to have 5 new faces to put on the floor, and all of them have to play. We're going to lean heavily on Kyron and Rodney. They've played the most minutes of all the guys returning. Drew Edge, Ryan, and Jalen. We'll go through a phase where we're growing and developing, but at the same time, I'm excited and really, really looking forward to working with this group.
I think you have 2 scholarships now. Is there any chance you keep adding for next year, or is it more looking ahead to 17 and beyond?
We're talking about that in the office. What do we do with that? Because right now it's really, really hard to find somebody who can come in and be an impact, but you keep all your options open. If any of you have great kids that can score, pass, shoot, read, and write, well, then we want to recruit them.
Had 3 years in the NCAA, 2 guys now going to the pros. Is this helping you in the door, getting in the door of recruits? Is this the profile of the program high enough where you're getting into some big-time players?
I think the recent success of the program has definitely elevated our profile nationally. It's allowed us, when people hear Providence College, it's not what it was when we took the job. And I think that's not just a credit to the players and the staff, but to the school itself, Father Shanley, Bob Driscoll, and everybody who's involved with the fundamental development of a program, and that starts at the top.
What are your thoughts on the new rule of the players being able to jump into the draft and come back out? And how hard is that for you the last couple of months?
Sure. I think it's unbelievable for the student athlete. I think it's the best thing for the student athlete. I think there has to be a shorter window because, again, in our situation here, we kept a scholarship. We kept a scholarship available, of which all of us coaches will do. I think it definitely favors the student athlete 1,000%, but at the same time, I think it may be stretched out too long. So hopefully, the NCAA may be able to tweak that a little. Not much, because I'm all in favor of what's best for the student athlete, and in this case, it's definitely working.
When you look at the list of picks in the top 10, where do you see Chris potentially falling?
They don't pay me for those type of things. He's going to be a lottery pick. He can be a top 2, 3, 4, 5 pick. You got to look at what teams need, what they already have. There's going to be a lot of trades made on the 23rd, I believe, if that's the draft night. Anything's possible. If it was me, I'd take him with the number 1 pick.
Are you going to Brooklyn with him?
I will be there, yes.
How much has the NBA already given his maturity as a player and a person?
I think they see the maturity in it. We've talked about that a lot when I've talked to a lot of the executives from those organizations. I think where he was in 2012 when he came to where he is right now, he's a totally different man.
Just depth-wise, you look like you have a lot of pieces for next year. Just talk about the class you have coming in and meshing in with the old guys. A lot of options.
Well, we're excited about our class. Isaiah Jackson, who sat out last year, I think could add a lot to us. Alpha, Malik, Khalif, Emmett, I think they'll give us we'll go through a different identity of who we are. We don't know that yet. That's what this summer's going to be about. That's what the preseason will be about. Who are we? We're excited about that. But we're going to be as good as the guys who played. That's going to be Jalen. That's going to be Rodney. That's going to be, that's going to be Drew, Ryan. Those guys have to be really good for us to make a big jump. And I'm hoping everybody here in Rhode Island's patient with that, because the guys down the street, I think, are going to be a top 20 team. I think the Rams are going to be really good this year.
And just, obviously NBA teams when they draft somebody, they want to know everything about a kid. And what can you just speak to his shoulder issues are all in the past? I mean, I kind of know what you're going to say in this, but just can NBA teams be at ease knowing they're going to pick somebody who's not going to have it? It's not going to be a problem with his past history.
When the NBA starts paying me for that information, I'll be happy to share that. Chris is in a great spot. If they want to give me $1 million for every suggestion, I'll tell them whatever they want to know. Matter of fact, that may inflate it.
But he's healthy though.
He's
right?
as healthy. He's as healthy as they come.
Right.
He had a great health year with that shoulder. He's doing great.
Yeah, I mean, I know that, but just, you read things about, people make rumors about, they don't want to show injury reports and all that kind of stuff goes on.
Here's the deal. I never read the newspaper.
Except Bill
Do you watch
Reynolds.
the news? Do you watch the news?
What? Nope.
No
Yeah,
news.
that's all right.
No, I'm only joking. I read and I watch everything. It's all good.
Did Ben have any doubts, say, a week or two ago?
No,
No.
none at all. Ben is a very confident man. Ben knows exactly what he wants. I think Ben's going to be very successful. I think he's a really tough matchup, high energy guy, shooting and getting better. It really is a credit to his determination and the development of which he's come to where he's at right now.
When he called you last night or over the weekend, what
Called
did
me
you
last night.
What did you say to him? Just,
Right when the phone rang, I said, "Congratulations, I know what you're going to do." I mean, Stevie Wonder could see that one.
yeah.
Did you give him any pep talk? Come back to Friartown?
I told him, he has to the 25th to make a decision. If he hadn't signed with an agent, we would love him back. But, you want to share that dream with your kids. I mean, that's why they come, So hopefully he makes the right decision and continues to move forward. Don't ever forget where he played.
Some pretty good advertisements with those two guys when you go out recruiting and saying,
Yeah, it is. I mean, hopefully it helps us in recruiting that 17 and 18 class. Hopefully there's many more to come. Don't know if we'll ever get back in that green room. That's a tough room to get into when you're at our schools.
All those Chris Dunn billboards, what are you going to do with that space on 95?
We're going to put Caracas' name up there. All right, we're going to put everybody here's face on there, all right? We'll all have a good time. There's a lot of space up there. There'll be somebody else we put up there, right? The next guy will be ready.
You officially have 2 scholarships left, right?
Yes. One for you and who else?
Not for long, no less out, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.